Good morning, Hit Nation. Yes, I'm still wearing that Rick and Morty jersey. That's basically what happens. But the truth is that today I just wanted to kind of finalize the thoughts about yesterday. So this is my worthless half a penny finally part 6. I'm going to try not to make mistakes. So just so we know, okay, tomorrow there's going to be one final of one conference final, and the day after tomorrow another conference final. They're not going to happen today. They're not going to happen the same day. This is what we have, right? Celtics and Pacers, and now the Timberwolves against the Mavs. Now, I never predicted the Mavs were going to be, but I was 50% right. In the beginning, I said Nuggets because I honestly thought that the Nuggets, which they still do it, two things could be, true at the same time. I thought that the Nuggets had an amazing team that would be enough and that would be able, that would be able to do the same things that he did last season. I didn't think that there was any reason why the Nuggets wouldn't be able to do it. You saw what happened with Oklahoma City being the first seed. That surprised me a little bit, to be honest. But again, as Andy, I mentioned him in part 5, said, when are you going to learn, Roy? When are you going to learn? So the Pacers, as I predicted yesterday, obviously after all the injuries, if the Knicks weren't injured, I would still maintain Knicks were going to the final conference finals against the Celtics. But the Knicks were injured. It's one after the other. Josh Hart, the latest, and then have Brunson fracturing his arm. Was it his arm? That could be a mistake, but right now I'm saying I don't remember. And then you see the Nuggets falling apart. The Pacers was a little bit more predictable, in my opinion, especially with everything that happened. But then you see the Nuggets falling apart, leading by 20 to end the half. They managed to get the greatest comeback. Second greatest comeback was the Warriors. It was an 11-point deficit, 20 points deficit. You kind of saw it coming a little bit, but after the Timberwolves had twice throughout the game that they didn't score for 4 minutes plus, it was just something that I didn't think the Timberwolves would have it in them, especially with Ant-Man not playing at his best capacity until basically the third quarter. The first half was disastrous for him. The second half, you see the importance of a couple of things. Number one, the importance of Gobert, right? Having another big, besides Aaron Gordon, besides whoever else plays in that category. And the Wolves, they're not a small team necessarily, right? At all. But the importance of Gobert and how important it was, I didn't give 2 cents to that trade. I thought it was a horrible trade. And then all of a sudden, these guys, they show how important it is to have somebody like Gobert defending. A player that is able to play without seemingly wanting to play or caring too much. Like a basically walking through the court and still creating magic, who is Nikola Jokic. People say he's a villain. I don't think he's a villain. But there is one thing that he did, and I think it bit him in his butt right now. Because he kept saying since his championship last season that he didn't care about basketball that much. Basketball was just something that I was good at. And it became something that I kept repeating. And there was once that he said, I don't want my kids to remember me as a basketball player. Bro, if you are a father, your kids are not your kids. The rest of the world is always going to remember you as the greatest basketball player. What else? They're going to remember that maybe you like horses. But that insistence in constantly saying, I don't care about basketball, well, you don't deserve it as much as those who do. Sorry, Jokic, right? Got the MVP, but didn't make it to your own conference finals, which is, in my opinion, shameful. And then you have Michael Malone's antics. He got mad at somebody that called him Mike once at the exit interview, the end of the game interview. Sorry, that was ridiculous. And in any case, the East is completely battered and injured. The only two teams that are not as injured, they're in the finals right now. The West, it could be a dogfight. Or I don't know. Andy's gonna tell me to have some respect, but to have some self respect. But the truth is, I'm gonna say this: I think the Timberwolves are way better than the Mavs, but it's honestly very unpredictable. Lovely game yesterday. Loved it. Loved it. What a game. What a game. Not so much the Pacers and the Knicks for obvious reasons, but the Western semis were great. On to the finals. I'm very happy we're not in this mess right now because it's a mess, but also because I don't have to be emotionally invested. I'm very sad I'm going to have to wait until August to have anything meaningful to say about the Miami Heat, but at least we still have the playoffs for now. Let's go Heat.